requesting $3,750 to purchase 6 student iPads and covers. For discussion's sake, gentlemen, we are going to continue to be bombarded with iPad funding requests. And there are some negatives out there in regards to iPads in the classroom as opposed to books. There's still an old school mindset that I may be somewhat of myself. I'm not opposed to iPads. I think that there ought to be, that some schools aren't approaching it with more of a balanced perspective. I'm not of the mindset that every child in the school system needs an iPad. Do I hear a motion? At this time, this request dies to the lack of motion, and I would ask Keisha to follow up with Ms. Breland and let her know that she'd be more than happy for her to submit another request in the future. And we'll try to work with her with community grant money out of Representative Robinson's account. That we could possibly look at helping her with community grant money that would be more toward the end of the year, or some other means that we may be able to assist her in her efforts.
Well, since we've tabled Ms. Breland's request, I also ask that we do the same with them, have them bring in another request for more information.
No motion. Well, I think he's making a motion to table this request.
That's
Do we
correct.
have a second? Second. We have a second. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Are there any nays?
Your motion's about
Doesn't help with the completion of the depot restoration. If I remember correctly, did they have someone came in and spoke to us about this?
Yes,
Yeah. And explained to us that this was separate from the Heritage Center. Do we have any discussion, or do I hear a motion on this request?
What have we done in the past? I know we had that probably in
10,000 in 2011 and 10,000 in 2012.
Okay.
I make a motion to be funded.
Is this on the annual appropriation list?
Depots.
I don't think it is.
No, because we haven't done it consistently.
Right.
She does have one for depots on here.
We have annual appropriations for depots, but this is for the Restoration Committee.
The annual appropriation for depots includes how many depots?
3. That was
Bridgeport,
previous.
Stevenson, and Scottsboro.
Yeah, that was previously 5,000, cut 25%. Is that correct?
It was 7,500.
7,500.
Yep, and it would be 19 at 15%. So.
But this is for a total different project. This is for
And this
restoration.
is for the Restoration Committee, just for this depot.
But they're going to spend it on the depot, right?
Yes.
Do they also receive the annual appropriation monies that we give to the depot?
Yes.
Okay. My encouragement to the committee is that we just leave them at their annual appropriation for the time being. But, you know, I'm willing to discuss this, so.
I think Representative Robinson made a motion.
So, Mr. Robinson, what you're saying is that the depot receives an annual contribution of $7,500 minus, minus 25%, and then an additional 20%. Is that correct? Last year's cut, if it was originally 7,500 in times past, then last year they got cut 25%. And then this year they're getting cut another 20%, so it would put them at 4,500.
So this right here where it says they received two.
Deny the request at this time. Do we have a second?
Second.
We have a second. All in favor, say aye. It's like politicians. They like to make everything difficult.
So we're denying the request, but letting them know that we're keeping on the.
At 6,000 with the cuts.
Mhm.
That's I'm assuming that we'll send out a letter or something to inform everyone, as we did last year. Okay, we're at Jackson County Sheriff's Department is requesting 10 to 20,000 for purchase of in-car computers for deputies. They will assist in reports, dispatch safety of deputies, and they're stating on here that Representative Johnson would not be able to talk on this issue.
I'm just wondering, how many vehicles are they talking about?
They're wanting to do the whole fleet. I'm not sure how much this will actually cover though. Maybe best for us to find out.
I was gonna say, it ain't this, if we give them 20,000, wouldn't cover their whole fleet. I would imagine they got more cars than that. I don't know how many police cars are on the road.
Just the chiefs.
Just, I seen one go back to battery today.
I'd like to know too, at some point, how much it costs to strike and paint those cars up the way that the sheriff's offices are doing.
That costs us some money too.
Put our name on it.
Well, the name and the sheriff, got all this, looks like a NASCAR.
You talk to the county commission about that.
We don't fund that actually.
Oh, is there a?
I would almost say,
Well, I'm saying, I hate the computers, I don't have a problem with doing it.
I'd almost say if it's like
As tight as
Madison's money,
money.
he's got trustees that puts those decals on them cars.
As tight as money is, I think it could be.
I would almost
computers
dare to
instead
say, he's got inmates that puts those decals on them cars. That's what you do in Madison
Them
County.
decals, they don't give them away.
Well, yeah, but you go get somebody to put them on there, they saving money by letting prisoners put them
You
on.
said prisoners, what gives them the expertise?
Hey, what else?
They gotta arrest the right ones. Okay, for the sake of time, folks, let's move on. I'd encourage a motion to carry this over at this time. Do I hear a motion?
So moved.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Do I have a second? All in favor say aye. Are there any nays?
Put me,
Of sexual and domestic abuse.
I'm saying you carrying that over too, just because it's associated with the sheriff's department?
No, I think it was an extension, right?
That was the same discussion, I think.
Yeah, same. It was supposed to
Okay.
be moved up as opposed to. Okay, they are due. We have given 10,000 in 2011, 3,000 in 2012. They're due for annual funding in February.
Actually,
It's actually March. And what was the previous annual amount? With the
10,000, and that was not to be cut, as far as
Okay.
I'm aware.
Yeah, the Crisis Service Center, we did not cut at 25% last year, correct?
But it already should.
Right here in 2012, you got 3,000,
Today
was
we
that?
did cut it.
Today we did cut it.
Yeah.
But with the 3,000, was that above and beyond the annual appropriation in 2012?
I believe so.
It
I
was.
believe you were correct.
We cut 20 or 25.
It was, I know that it was.
If we didn't do it, I'll make a motion that it's gonna be included in the 20% cut.
Yeah, it is included
Okay, all right.
at this point anyway, unless we want to discuss it and choose not to.
I make a motion, we fund the annual appropriation today, $8,000.
And no additional.
Is that the 20,000, is that the 20% cut?
That would be the
8,000?
20% cut. Okay. We have a motion to fund crisis services of 8,000. It would be with the 20% cut. And Keisha, I would suspect that they are simply asking for their annual appropriation in this request, that they're not asking for an additional 10,000. Okay.
It's a part of the annual.
It's the annual.
Okay. Okay. We have a motion to fund the crisis services of $8,000. Do we have a second? We have a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Are there any nays? Fifth High School softball, we have covered that, so we'll move on to Scottsboro Junior High. Is requesting $55 per Nook book, I believe is what that's asking for.
Just $1 for 55 notebooks.
Requesting
Requesting
money.
money, okay, for 55 notebooks at $109 a piece, device plus an additional 35 for the case, keyboard for a total of 141 devices and a total of $7,755. Holly Matthews, okay, how does a Nook book compare to an iPad? Does anyone know?
I think it's something that needs to be done, but like you say, we've got to have an idea of what we're doing.
Okay, let's see, next item on the list is Town of Hollywood requests from September. They're requesting money for a tractor, a bush hog from state surplus with the funding amount to be determined at a later date. Mayor Duke, after speaking with Mayor Duke, the board discovered that this request was not urgent, requesting $28,000.
Did we find
However,
out?
it wasn't urgent in September.
It's really,
That was after the mowing season.
It's still a grass field deal.
That's when the request goes major.
And we got at least another month worth of capital, right?
It's
Tractor, folks, the bush hog is a little above what I would anticipate for Hollywood. I saw one.
And I talked with the mayor back some time ago, and he was gonna go or line up going to the state. That's what I suggested him to do.
You don't know if he did that.
Haven't heard back from him.
I'll make an effort when I go to Montgomery is to check with someone and see if the state will donate equipment like that to these small towns.
Okay. Do I hear a motion?
I make a motion to carry this over.
Do I have a second?
second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Are there any nays? Bryant Neighborhood Watch requesting $1,500 to reseal walking trail. Now, if I remember correctly,
Pretty good.
if I remember correctly, we helped fund this walking trail, did we not? And, you know, I'm more for supporting the install of equipment and facilities and et cetera, as opposed to maintenance. To me, it's my opinion that if a community cannot maintain what they install, then they didn't count the cost before they built, so to speak. At this time, this neighborhood watch request dies due to a lack of motion. Keisha, if you would follow up with them and encourage them. That's caught us up. I'd like to thank each one of you for being here today, for your efforts, for serving the community of Jackson County, and for our guests who are here with us today. Thank you for being here, for your input, and for your efforts that you put into the community. And with that, I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.